Good evening and salutations, my GH fans. Olivia, what happened to this character? I don't understand. She was never doing things this stupid, okay? And at the very least, when she did some stuff that was a little kind of offbeat, she would at the very least learn from it, right? So tell me why she's in the kitchen talking to Tracy, and I think Brooklyn was there, I wasn't too sure. And no, Brooklyn wasn't there. She's blaming herself that she pushed too hard the night before to try to make Ned remember who he was, and he left and everything like that. So she blamed herself for it. And Tracy was like, listen, nobody was going to be able to do any better to sit there and try to get him to remember. So knowing that she pushed too much, you would think, hey, you know what? Let me just kind of just chill out for a little bit and try to come up with something else or whatever. It's not saying you're going to give up. Just take a step back and try to think about this. Nope. She decides she wants to go to Sonny's place to drop off some lasagna or Italian dish or whatever. And I'm just like, what are you doing? So she comes over there and, she sees him. Now, of course, Ned is, he's feeling kind of guilty and stuff like that as far as, the way things went down at the Savoy the night before. So she gets there and she decides to take out like a wedding album. Sit there, have him look through pictures and stuff like that. And I'm like, I could have swore you just said that you felt bad for pushing him too hard. So you decide to come over to Sonny's house and once again push him too hard. So of course, that didn't work. Now, during one of the photos, it's a photo of him and Lois. And he turns the page and it's a picture of his guitar. And he's like, oh, I can. He's like, yeah, I remember that guitar. And of course, Olivia flips out, which doesn't help him. He wound up leaving. And, she's all mad and everything like that and sad. And I'm just like, but she does want to go into the house. And she does tell those two, listen, we're not going to stop fighting. It didn't work out this time. But we got to sit there and think of a new approach other than to be kind of badgering him to try to remember. So while that's going on, you got Nina that I guess went after him. And, and that's like, listen, yeah, I appreciate you. You're a lot better than the other two and everyone else trying to get me to remember. He talks about the open road and how, he wants to sit there and leave. He's like, you know what, listen, I'm not doing anyone any favors. Let me just leave. I like being on the open road. He talks about, how fun it is to travel for like music and stuff like that, just being on tour. And of course, Nina's like, oh yeah, that's really great. It sounds like a lot of fun. So, I mean, granted, she didn't really have to do much, but she was just like, yeah, that sounds like a blast. Because as long as you're far away, you can't sit there and expose me. So she runs back in. She runs back in the house. Of course, Olivia's gone, but she runs back in. She's like, Sonny, uh, I couldn't stop him. I couldn't stop Ned. So I start laughing at this point, right? I was just like, oh yeah, you seemed like you was really gonna try. But of course, Dex shows up, and then right after, Ned is there. So it was one of those things, it was like, Nina, you're so close. You're so close to Cynthia solving a little problem. Maybe, I guess. Or he could have just remembered and just went back to Port Charles one day, and either way, you would have been screwed. But I like your attempt, though. I like it. It's kind of like an opportunity just kind of fell in her lap, and she just decided, let me just kind of ride this for a little bit. Nice. Nice. I give you some points for that. So, Mason, Austin, and Ava. I don't know why I almost forgot her name for some odd reason. Let me tell you about this scene for a minute. And what I don't understand, how should I sit there and put this? You know, also Smith did try and talk about the idea of getting Paloma fired. This way, they can sit there and try to get some information on Pikeman and Sonny's business and stuff like that. And of course, Ava's like, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to sit there and get her fired and stuff like that. And they start talking about pugs, even though we know what the real word is. Austin's like, let's plant some on her, this way we can get her fired. And she's kind of being like very pessimistic or whatever. And Austin's like, yo, listen, here's the thing. Mason ain't playing. All right, like this is serious. And he tells her that, listen, he may not, it's not about coming after you. It's about hurting somebody that you love. And so I'm like, okay, so this, just to kind of get in her head, it could be Nina, it could be whoever her friends are, which I don't remember she has a lot, but I'm pretty sure she does. Yeah, she does. Somewhat. It's about hurting somebody that she loves. So it makes her sit there and think, maybe let me really sit there and try to get this information. So Mason comes in there. And then Mason's like, so what's the prognosis? What's going on? I need a report or whatever. And he reminds her that, he has the evidence to sit there and turn around. I'm sitting there thinking, well, here's the thing. If you turn Ava and Austin over to the cops, and you don't get your information that you need from her, from Sonny. So, Austin thing was, well, he'll hurt somebody that you love. And I felt like that would have kind of drove it more home, other than to say, I'm going to turn you in. Because, if Ava really thought about it long enough, I'm like, okay, and then how are you going to get me the information? Like what is that going to do? But towards the end of the episode, when Ava goes sit there and try to spend time with her daughter, Paloma, I think that's her name, is like, she's missing. So now it starts to sit there and sink in her head, this is serious. This is what what she said in the beginning was that she thinks maybe she should tell Sonny. And Austin's like, no, it's a bad idea, yada, 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 yada. And I'm just like, but you doing this isn't any better. So in reality, you should just kind of went with your first instinct, sit there and say, screw you, Austin, let me call in the big guns. So now at this point, she doesn't even have a choice. She doesn't even actually have a choice. But, yeah, I feel like we could have got Sonny involved a lot sooner, but for some odd reason, they just felt the need to kind of drag this out a little bit more. And Ava, of course, not really being like fully on board, like, all right, let me just sit there and do my part, otherwise I can go to jail. Or what Austin said, he could sit there and hurt a loved one. Some of this stuff just felt, when I really think about it, some of the story just feels really wonky, and it's just more like for plot than anything else. Just my 2 cents on it. Now, Laura's leaving town, right? Which is like, hey, listen, I got some people to sit there and back you up. So the people that she has in mind to sit there and back her up is Marty, who has never had a baby, who has never really changed a diaper, and Lucy, which seems like she really is not too caring about as far as helping. I don't see Lucy Smith there changing a diaper. Now, yeah, she does have kids, or a child, I think, but she doesn't give off diaper changing vibes. So it's like, Laura, you really couldn't have called, I don't know, anyone else other than those two to sit there and help out. Hell, even Spencer was like, so, you ever had a baby? You ever change the diaper? I'm sorry. Why is he here for? Because that's what I was sitting there thinking the entire time. Um, but Lord is sit there and try to convey it to both of them that they need to sit there and work together for Ace's Ace's best best was best for him. And of course, at this point, everyone's not there telling Laura that it's not a good idea to go there. You got Spencer, you got Marty, you got um, Austin, yeah, Valentine. But listen, she's going there, and that's it. And at least she's going there with some backup. How even Martin starts that they're making jokes as far as Kevin and Valentine's role in it, because even he's not there worried about her. Now, going into the whole Anna and Valentine scene, I don't know what they're doing with Anna. I know that there's nothing trying to reinvent her, right? Because let's be honest, her being an agent has been like her thing for a hot minute. When she wasn't an agent, she was police commissioner. Don't really understand how she actually had those credentials to do that, but whatever. Um, but now she's not even an agent. They don't want her to go to Chesnia, which I think would have actually been really cool. Another adventure for her. She does probably speak at least some of the language, I imagine. But all she's not there doing, because somebody painted murder on her door, and she's not really taking it too seriously. And Valentine is like, "Yo, listen, let me stay here." And long story short, he decides to leave, and they have their little cutesy moment because at this point, I feel like that's really all they have. As far as Anna's story is concerned, because to be honest, I gotta sit there and wonder, did anyone actually care about that scene? To be honest, I mean, yeah, I get it. She is lost and she doesn't know what to do with herself. She doesn't know what to do with her life. Her entire background was her entire essence essentially was tied to being an agent. We've been going over this for like the last past couple of days. I'm going to be honest, I just don't really care. I mean, I didn't really care to begin with, but now it's just monotonous. It's like every scene with her, I feel like we're just going to be getting this mopey, woe is me. I don't know what to do in my life. My life is falling apart. I can't be an agent anymore. It's like, we get it. Sometimes I just feel like, could they just sit there and take a look at some of the stuff that Days is doing? You know, I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be mad if they sat there and copied a little bit. Just saying. Um, Now, the scene with Trina and Jocelyn got interesting after Dex left, right? Because they're talking about Esme and they're talking about Spencer and the evidence that, Victor left. And, Trina's like, well, the evidence isn't real. And Jocelyn's like, so? I mean, she did it. So, like, who cares if it's fabricated or not? Like, she did it. Trina, she's all about like morals and principles and stuff like that. And Johnson's like, yo, listen, that bleep 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 needs to sit there and pay for her crimes. And she does sit there and make a remark about Spencer, because Trina was like, oh yeah, Spencer destroyed the evidence. And she just had that look. She said something. She was like, wait, really? Like, are you sure? Or something along those lines. Like, she was surprised because she was like, that doesn't seem like something that Spencer would do. And Trina was really adamant about the fact that he did it. And so she was like, well, you must be, a really good influence on him. Now, when she finds out that he lied to her about destroying that evidence, yeah, she's not going to be happy. Which I don't blame her because, her family is imploding because of all the lies that's been going on in her life. And now she's not there getting lied to by Spencer. On top of the fact that his life kind of changed dramatically since Ace, you know. Um, Now, just even going back to that episode yesterday and what Portia said as far as, a newborn and everything like that, you're gonna have a lot of stuff on your plate. You're not gonna really actually have as much time as you thought. And I feel like somewhere along the lines, Trina's gonna sit there and think about that conversation of, Portia being, with him and Portia and being like, yeah, okay, I get it. My mom doesn't like the fact that I'm dating this dude or whatever, but maybe she wasn't entirely wrong as far as things changing and him not actually having much free time. Listen, if Ace wasn't there and she popped by, it just would have been whatever. But now there's a child involved. So as much as I do not like Portia, and I don't like what she's doing, she wasn't wrong in that conversation. And a lot of people that was in the live stream was right as far as what Chase saw. Chase saw Nina being a witness when Ned, tripped and fell in the pool. But it doesn't exactly mean anything. All it means is that, okay, she was there. So, like, so what she was there. Um, I feel like that's going to probably come into play down the line, down the line when she does actually get exposed, they're gonna sit there and look back and be like, "Oh, okay, yeah, so that's why she was there." They're gonna sit there and kind of replay that and be like, "Okay, well, that makes sense." So it doesn't mean anything now, but it will down the line. What I don't understand is why, because Martin and Lucy was talking about the scepter. Martin's like, "I need you to sit there and make sure you tell nobody that I helped you come with that idea of this of the deceptor." Like you got to sit there and you got to swear to me that you're not going to sit there and say anything. And so now Lucy's like, all right, fine, and she goes on the phone and starts talking to somebody like, I need help or whatever. I'm just like, why are you so adamant on making sure that no one knows about your involvement with that? Now, the only thing I can sit there and think of is how much money this thing is going to make, and ex-wife number three, she's going to want a little bit more alimony, you know. I want to sit there and see what this ex-wife number three looks like. Because she's sitting there demanding a lot. And I want to see her presence and just like how she is in person, you know? Now, Tracy, Tracy is really pushing Brooklyn to get more information about this new product. Up until a point where Chase is about to leave, um, Tracy drops some sort of hints to Brooklyn like, yo, listen, if you don't give me what I want, I'm gonna sit there and tell him about, about my involvement and about your involvement, about you getting me to help him get his badge back. Because she was like, yeah, I took the day off or whatever. I didn't feel like going to work. And then afterwards, she was like, yeah, well, I guess I should sit there and get ready to go to work. I should just probably change from all this. Meanwhile, she's on the phone talking to somebody, being like, yo, listen, I got it. Don't, first of all, my boss, we're partners. I'm going to get the information. Don't worry about it. So now somebody is also involved in this, and I want to sit there and see. Well, first, I want to sit there and see why does she need it so bad, and who is this other person? I don't know if we're actually going to sit there and see this other person, but it would be nice. Just saying. Anyway, I feel like that's about it. I can't really think of anything else that wound up happening. But, as I always sit there and say, if I missed anything, come to the live stream tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We'll sit there and go over all of them, B&B, YNR, Days, GH, the works. We'll sit there and just go through them all, like we do every night, specifically about the episodes that wound up happening today. Because I got a lot of thoughts. on obviously all these episodes that happen. Wish I actually had time to sit there and review some of them, but that's a different problem for a different day. As you know, today is always Tuesdays has always been hell day, so the fact that I can actually get at the very least this review done. Anyway, with that being said, I'm gonna go. Thank you for watching, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video.